For over 1,000 years, a single faith provided the moral architecture for a succession of empires, stretching from Asia Minor to the Indus Valley. At its height, Zoroastrianism commanded the loyalty of millions across Greater Iran. Today, it is practiced by a global community of roughly 100,000. How a state religion of this magnitude became a marginalized minority remains one of history's most complex mysteries. The soul of an empire rarely vanishes in a single moment. It fades through a hidden, relentless process of attrition. By the start of the Sasanian era in 224 CE, Zoroastrianism was the supreme law of the land. Sasanian monarchs ruled as divine protectors of the faith, embedding its teachings into the very structure of the government. This devotion was etched into the landscape through the Chahar-Taki, distinctive four-arched temples, where eternal flames represented purity, truth, and the divine light of Ahura Mazda. During this era, Persian identity and the tending of the sacred flame were inseparable. But decades of crippling conflict with the Byzantine Empire eventually exhausted the Sasanian war machine. When the Arab-Muslim conquests surged outward from the peninsula in the 7th century, the battles of Al-Qadisiyah and Nahawand shattered the Persian military in quick succession. The last Sasanian king, Yazdegerd III, became a fugitive, and the state apparatus that had supported the priesthood for centuries collapsed. While the faith survived these initial clashes, the loss of its political armor left it vulnerable to a deeper systemic eradication. Popular histories often emphasize conversion by the sword, but the demographic shift actually unfolded over hundreds of years. For 2 centuries following the conquest, the rate of conversion remained low. Then, the trend hits a tipping point, around 950 CE. In a short window, the threshold crosses 80%, flipping the country's demographic makeup. This demographic shift resulted from centuries of relentless economic and social attrition. To drive this change, the caliphates implemented the jizya, a per capita poll tax imposed strictly on non-Muslim subjects. The legal system added pressure. If a single member of a Zoroastrian family converted to Islam, they could legally claim the entire family's inheritance, leaving their relatives with nothing. Daily life brought mandated humiliations, including clothing restrictions and bans on riding horses or carrying weapons. Holding on to the ancestral faith meant accepting inescapable poverty and second-class citizenship. Simultaneously, the institutional pillars of the religion crumbled. Without state funding, the network of rural temples fell into decay. New rulers often repurposed these sacred spaces. By blocking the arch facing Mecca and inserting a prayer niche, a standard Sasanian Chahar-Taki could be transformed into a mosque. As libraries and ancient texts were destroyed, the remaining faithful retreated to isolated desert towns like Yazd and Kerman to preserve their ancient practices in secret. Facing these compounding pressures, thousands of Zoroastrians chose to flee their homeland. They traveled across the Arabian Sea and settled in Gujarat, forming the Parsi community. Despite centuries of pressure, the sacred fires were never extinguished. Today, they still burn in Iran and India. And in that quiet continuity, the legacy of the faith endures.